woke up this morning, the sky was gray. Another.
All right, hello everyone. This is Manon Doucette. I'm a published author. Lately, I just published my first of 52 books for short story for children before bed. It's on Amazon under Manon Doucette. And today is the 201, a follow-up of our 101 from yesterday. Yesterday, I showed you 3 different ways to start a story, and we kind of finished on canvas. But we did make a story which was pretty interesting, called the Shadow Warrior Dawn. And that's the part I'm going to get you to listen. And at the same time, I'm going to get my dogs in the house so they stop barking. So let me know if you're a wave of the head, Michael, if you can hear it. Oh, hold on. Just a sec. It's like earlier it worked. When I restart the computer, it stopped working. I need to get this to start. Let's get the Speechify again. Why doesn't it work? It worked when I use my own Zoom, but maybe it doesn't want to work when you use Sudowrite Zoom.
The sun was just starting to rise over the horizon, casting a warm orange glow across the training grounds of the Shadow Warriors. Arya stood in the center of the circle, her dark hair tied back in a ponytail.
Can you guys hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
And her sword held firmly in her hand. She watched as her fellow warriors moved around her, each one practicing their own chosen fighting style. Some were wielding swords like her, while others were using bows, spears, or even magic. Arya's eyes lingered on the mage, a tall and slender woman with long flowing robes and a staff in her hand. She moved gracefully, her eyes closed as she chanted incantations and summoned blasts of fire and ice. Arya couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. Magic was forbidden in their kingdom, and yet the mages of the Shadow Warriors were allowed to wield it freely, as long as it was for the good of their people. But Arya was different. She was a Shadow Warrior, trained in the art of stealth and combat. And yet, she also possessed the forbidden gift of magic. Her powers were a secret, known only to her closest companions. If anyone were to find out, she would be cast out and labeled a witch, sentenced to a life of exile or even death. With a heavy sigh, Arya pushed these thoughts aside and focused on her training. She moved fluidly, her sword slicing through the air with precision and speed. Her muscles tensed and relaxed with each strike, her body responding instinctively to her movements. She had been training since she was a child, and it was second nature to her now. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the training session came to an end. Arya and her fellow warriors gathered in a circle, their chests heaving with exertion and sweat dripping down their faces. Their commander, a stern and grizzled man named Roderick, stood at the front of the group. "You all did well today," he said, his voice booming across the grounds. "But we must always remember that our training never ends. We must be ready for whatever threats may come our way." Arya nodded, her eyes scanning the group. The Shadow Warriors were a small and elite group, feared by their enemies and revered by their allies. They were the protectors of the kingdom, the ones who stood between their people and the darkness that threatened to consume them. But Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The kingdom had been at peace for many years, and their skills were rarely put to the test. She wondered if they were becoming complacent, if they were losing their edge. Her thoughts were interrupted by a loud commotion at the edge of the training grounds. A group of soldiers marched through the gates, followed by a tall and regal figure dressed in fine robes and accompanied by a retinue of guards. Arya recognized him immediately as the king's advisor, Lord Cedric. He was known for his intelligence and cunning, but also for his disdain for the Shadow Warriors. He had always been vocal about his belief that their powers were dangerous and should be stamped out. "Attention!" Lord Cedric barked, and the soldiers and warriors snapped to attention. "What brings you here, Lord Cedric?" Roderick asked, his voice laced with a hint of annoyance. "His Majesty has requested the presence of the Shadow Warriors," Cedric replied, his tone dripping with smugness. "And what for?" Roderick pressed. "The king has received troubling news," Cedric said, his expression grave. "A powerful sorcerer has been sighted near the border. His intentions are unknown, but it is clear that he means to cause harm to our kingdom." The news sent a chill down Arya's spine. She had heard tales of sorcerers, beings with immense power and the ability to cast curses and spells. They were feared by all, even the Shadow Warriors. "Our scouts have tracked the sorcerer to a hidden cave in the mountains," Cedric continued. "The king believes that he may be planning to unleash a deadly curse upon our people. We cannot risk that. What do you need from us?"
What the fuck is this?
"The king wishes for the Shadow Warriors to take care of this matter," Cedric said, his eyes lingering on Arya. "He believes that your skills and abilities will be necessary to defeat this sorcerer. And time is of the essence." Arya felt a surge of excitement at the prospect of a real mission. She had been training for this her entire life, and now she had the chance to prove herself. But the thought of facing a powerful sorcerer also filled her with dread. "Very well," Roderick said, his voice steady. "We will leave at once." As the soldiers and Shadow Warriors prepared for their journey, Arya's mind was filled with conflicting emotions. She was excited for the adventure and the chance to use her powers for good. But she also feared what they might find in that cave, and the toll it would take on her and her fellow warriors. They traveled for days through treacherous terrain, their horses picking their way carefully through the mountains. Aria's heart pounded with anticipation and fear as they drew closer to their destination. Finally, they reached the cave. It was hidden deep in the mountains, the entrance shrouded by thick vines and dark shadows. Aria could sense a powerful magic emanating from within, and she knew that their mission was about to begin. Be on your guard, Roderick warned as they entered the cave. We do not know what we may face inside. The group moved cautiously, their weapons at the ready. Aria could feel the tension in the air as they crept deeper into the cave, their footsteps echoing off the walls. Suddenly, they heard a low growl coming from the shadows. Aria's heart leapt into her throat as a large, menacing creature emerged from the darkness. It was a dragon, its scales shimmering in the dim light of the cave. Without hesitation, the warriors sprang into action, attacking the dragon with all their might. But it seemed impervious to their weapons, its thick skin deflecting their blows. Aria watched in horror as her fellow warriors fell one by one, their bodies mangled and broken. She could feel her powers starting to surge within her, and she knew that this was her moment. She could either use her magic and risk being exposed, or she could stand by and watch her comrades die. With a cry, she unleashed a powerful spell, sending a blast of energy towards the dragon. It roared in pain and staggered back, giving Aria enough time to strike the killing blow with her sword. The dragon fell to the ground with a thud, its body lifeless. Aria felt a sense of relief and victory, but also a deep sense of guilt. She had revealed her powers, and now there was no going back. As the remaining warriors regrouped and tended to their fallen comrades, Aria's mind was
All right. So that gives you an idea of what we did yesterday. Now we have our story. We know some of our character. And the reason why I get you to listen, so we can work all together about the story we did start yesterday. Some of you have their own story they're going to bring in Sudowrite. So you already know your character, the story, what's happening. So we're doing the same thing, but if we don't listen to it, we don't know what we're bringing in because we have to listen or read our story. So now that we know this is the warrior area and all those other characters, now we can start and bring our story inside Sudowrite Story Bible. So Thomas, do we have any question in the chat I should answer before I start and dig inside the Story Bible?
No, there were some people wondering what was the value of listening to it read.
Yeah.
I find it valuable. I know where I work, people call them table reads. They're valuable. That's all so far.
That's great. Thank you. It is very valuable because you need to learn your story. If someone is coming inside Sudowrite and says, I want Sudowrite to write me a book, and I'm not going to listen to it, I'm just going to publish it, then you're not going to have a good book to publish. Sudowrite is there to help you writing books, editing, and get something out there which is of value and interesting for other people to read. All right, so without waiting any longer, we're going to take what we got yesterday, what I just listened the story about, and we're going to directly start into brainstorm. We have less than 2,000 words of our story, and this is pretty much everything we know of our story that I brought everything inside Braindom to start this show. So the whole story is there. And from here, you can also ask Sudowrite. We know it's a fiction story. So where's my chat? I wanted to give me a genre, so I'm going to go in quick edit and I'm going to do a quick chat. I'm going to say, what is the best genre? And it's going to give us the best genre for this story here. So the genre are like flavor, depend on what the hungry, each unit appeal is story fiction. Transport you in another time, realism, blur, dystopia, quote, future, psychological thriller. Well, can I get one genre? Because he mixed some of the genre here. So let's see. Historical fiction with magical to it, dystopia story. So give me two genre. Adventure fantasy, there we go. So I'm going to copy this. It's going to be my genre. So I would say that's the second question was good. I'm going to go in my genre box and I'm going to put this here. It's a blend of adventure, fantasy, and magical realism. No interrogation point. There we go. So we have our genre. Now we have a start of a story. What I like with that is we also have dialogue, which is great. So we're going to ask for a synopsis of it. Now, as we go here, the brainstorm here, the brain dump, there is an interrogation point. It's telling you that the brain dump is going to be used to build your synopsis and also your beats. So the beats is the little step before you write your chapter. So this brain dump is going to be useful for the synopsis. The genre here, when you put your little mouse onto the interrogation point, it's telling you that it's going to affect the outline, the beats, and the prose. The style, which I never fill up until I get my first chapter written, is going to affect the beats and the prose. So our synopsis, we already know that is coming from the brain, the brainstorm, and the genre, which that's why we ask the best genre for our story. So let's generate our synopsis. And as it goes, do we have question in the chat? All right, so we have a very short synopsis. Very, very short. In the early morning light, Arya stands in the center of the Shadow Warrior training ground. Her sword tightly in her hand, she watched her fellow warrior practicing various fighting, but Arya is interrupted by the Lord Cedric, the king advisor, arrived with news of powerful sorcerers who was going spot nearby, the kingdom border, the Shadow Warrior. As the journey go forward or towards. The sorcerer hiding place, area excitement. Okay, that's not a bad story. It's a very short synopsis, but sometimes it can be just enough. Here in the synopsis, if you have your own synopsis or you decide this is not enough for me, you can do a rewrite of your synopsis. You can say rewrite a synopsis with more action. So rewrite synopsis with more action.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Are you okay, Thomas, to
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you. Yes,
there we go. Rewrite a synopsis with more action, and we just click rewrite. And you remember that everything that you get the AI to generate for you, it's costing credit, and everything you write down yourself is also costing credit. It's when you copy something twice with the same words, this is not supposed to cost credit unless that change. So Arya standing there, she's doing the training. Their training is interrupted by the Lord. The journey towards the hiding place of the sorcerer. Desperate to save her. So something is happening here. Unleash the power of engagement of the fierce battle. However, in doing so, Arya exposed her forbidden gift. Oh, she's having a gift too. The true battle is yet to come. So we got a little bit more words, not by much, but we still have a small synopsis. So you know how to rewrite your synopsis. Now let's get some characters. So the character is going to come from the synopsis. So we should have all the names that was in our brain dump inside here. So let's generate character. And very soon the character box will change. Not sure when, but every character will have their own box with a lot more details. So keep an eye on that because it's coming. So let's generate.
I think at last count they were saying 3 weeks, so it might be down to 2, but expect about 3 weeks.
Sounds good. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing?
Hey, Manal.
Let me see. Do you want to be co-host, Nicole?
Why not?
Try to see where you are here.
Does it give me the power to boot Tomas?
Do that in your own time. There we go.
Start screaming horde, no promises.
All right, we have our character now. Arya, Stormwell, Lord Cedric, the sorcerer Eldrick Vane, Mira Everwood, Garrett Ironside, Seraphine Nightshade. Nightshade is a word or a name that we see often in Sudowrite, so be careful when names are coming back a lot, like Blackthorn, Nightshade. The other one doesn't come often inside my story, but those does. Then we have Kael Swiftwind, and then Lysandra Ashwood. So two names that come often in mind, but here they are pretty good. So now we have our character. We can see what they are, if they are. So Arya Stormwell is our dedicate, and I need to get my screen bigger, just a second. He doesn't want to. Okay. Arya Stormwell, dedicate and skill warrior in her mid-20s. Arya has long dark hair, often pulled back into a tight braid to keep it out of her face during battle. Her eyes are piercing blue. One of these things here, piercing blue. If you don't take off piercing in your story, piercing blue will come back pretty much each time they talk about Arya. So inside your character box, you can go and delete it. Or you can keep everything there. Make sure you don't lose anything. You can copy your character. And remember yesterday we did those boxes. So you can go in and you can pass your character. So you have everything for your character. And in that box here, you can use your laser tools and change and add more information. Let's see, one of them is very small at the bottom. Let's see if we can ask for more details on this one. We can ask to expand, visualize, quick edit, or rewrite. Let's get more description on this one. And the description, I don't want to know how she tastes. Maybe how she sounds, I don't want that. So the site. All right, so we have those three. We'll see what that gives us here. Describe a bit more of Lysandra Ashwood. That's true, everything's on the side. So here, I got to move my screen so I can see. So we have, as she moves, Lysandra, auburn hair gift in the sunlight like fire, matching the intensity of her magic. So if you like the information of the sight, of the smell, and the sound, you can simply insert in the bottom. So you have all the information, a lot of information on that character, and you can do it for every single one of them, just to show you to use your laser tool this way, insert. So now you can see we have a lot of information on the character, which has the less of all. And you can do it with all the character inside that box. There's no limit in space. If you go in our character box in Story Bible, we only have, where's my character box? Only have 700 words that we can use to describe our character. And we already close to 600. So you can see that having your box on the side and work your character as you go, it's a great thing to have. So our character box is coming from the synopsis. We can ask to rewrite our character the same way we ask to rewrite our synopsis. So you can change the name of your character, the location, all kind of things that you want to rewrite your character with, the more physical description, how they speak, everything you want, you can add it or rewrite. And because character is using your synopsis, in your synopsis, you could have gone and put down in bracket that when he's doing the character that you want more information, more to tell how they speak inside your synopsis, you could have give the AI a prompt to give character a different voice and things like that. We just didn't do it on this one, but tomorrow we can work on that and give more prompt to Sudowrite. So we have our character the way we think it's good right now. And then we're going to start our outline. So the outline is using, based on the genre, the synopsis, and the character. And as you know, that this one here is when you go in, can we do it? We cannot go back, but normally that's not what it is. But when I did come in, I asked to put the template. The template is when you have your own story or your own outline and you want to bring it in, you can just bring it in and just write everything you have to write beside it. Okay, but because we don't have our outline yet, we're going to get our outline written right now. And it's going to get this information from the synopsis, the character, and the genre. So let's try to get our outline here.
And going back to what Manon was talking about dialogue, I have found it extremely helpful to give the AI an example line of dialogue for how that character speaks. So work with Quick Chat or Chat GPT or just ideas in your own head. Come up with that line of dialogue like, yes, this sounds like exactly like my character, and you could put that in the box with it. It helps bring it in beautifully.
Exactly. This is the part where that's why I got the whole thing to be read to us at the start. We had character in our braindom. We have the character and we have line of dialogue, which are not bad at all. So I don't have to do it. But like Nicole said, you can change and you can ask all these details. And when you have your own story, you're going to put all those details because you know your character, how they speak, if they have a mix of language, slang, stutter, all these things. We had a small synopsis, but we have a 17 chapter, 18.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
So this is filling in the chapters from what was automatically generated, or did you already write this and you're entering it into the outline box?
This is everything that we did from yesterday, the story that we listened at the start. So we have an idea of what the story is all about because everything was generated by Sudowrite yesterday.
Okay, so where did you get it so it'll insert on the outline?
What do you mean by insert?
Did you just typed up the question mark and then
No, I just
generate outline? Okay.
outline.
Box. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I forgot to tell you about the outline. You can choose the different outline. So I didn't make any choice there. I just asked for the novel outline. But we could have used the heroes outline or the Hollywood beats, the story circle, or the romance outline. So it's kind of, it could be the hero's journey. So just for the fun of it, we're going to make two outlines so you understand the difference between the two. Because right now with the novel, we have 24 chapters. Now, if you use the different outline, which is the hero's journey, let's see what it's going to give us. And I'm not worried to lose my outline because we have that our little story, so I can come back to it and use it. So generate a different outline, but with the hero's journey. It's very slow. Do we have questions during that time?
I was just searching up in Discord, and I'm going to post a screenshot. If you go to the course videos channel in the Discord, did I say that right? The course videos channel in the Discord server and search outline, just type in outline in the search box right there within that channel, and you'll see some classes that we did, various different types of classes too, looking at the different models and stuff that y'all might find helpful.
Yeah. And that's something I love to do when we do chapter 1. I use different model to see the difference in playing with the genre and the style at the same time. So we had 14 chapter now. Thank you, Nicole.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, no, it's still going. 18 chapter. You really like that story. All right, so we are 18 chapter into the hero's journey. And if I want to go check my other outline, remember you go in the history over here, click on it, and you can go back and get the other outline that we had, which had 24 of them. So let's stay with the hero's journey. If I wanted to go back and get the novel outline, I just click the restore. It's not the right one because I think it's more complete than that. That would be this one. So that one has the 24 complete. So I could click restore and get this one, or stay with the one of the hero's journey. So let's keep with this one here, and let's see what we have on the chapter 1. So the ordinary world. Arya Stormwell trained with her fellow shadow warriors at the kingdom training ground, showcasing her exceptional swordmanship. Lysandra Ashwood and Serafina Nightshade, two mage, demonstrate their magic, causing Arya to feel envious as she must hide her own magical ability. She shares her frustration with her close friend, Mira Everwood, who support and encourage her to keep her secret safe. Okay, that's not bad. Let's see what that's going to give us if they give us beat. So tomorrow we're going to work with more of the prompt. On top of your outline, you can put your own prompt. Nicole is using that a lot when she writes her own book. You want to tell us about the prompt you're using in the outline, Nicole?
Oh, which one? To guide like each chapter or to make my outline look a certain way?
To work your beats the way you like. Do you have one for those? More detailed beats. Do you have a prompt for that?
Oh, I do. Actually, I was going to gather that and post it. I think I have it posted in the Discord tips and tricks, and I will make double sure. That's the best way because it's kind of lengthy, so it might go past the Zoom
Perfect.
allowance.
So tomorrow I'm going to use those prompts and show the difference when we use prompt, because you can use prompt in every box here. The AI is going to read them. And these prompts in the book, in the Bible, has to be in brackets, but not on top of our beats. So we're going to get there too. Let's not jump the. Here the rewrite, as the other one that we used earlier, you can rewrite your outline. You can ask to rewrite with less chapter. You can ask to rewrite and merge every pair together. You can ask how to rewrite your outline if you want a different way to rewrite it. So here it says, now let's the fun begin. We have chapter 1. We have all our chapter because everything is already lined up. You don't have to start with chapter 1. You can start with any chapter. In my workflow, I like to start with chapter 1, and I like to find the one who has the more action, somewhat the middle. And I like to know normally the before end story, because normally the last one is everyone goes happy and things like that. So this is the 3 chapter I like to produce first and read them so I understand the story, and I want to understand where the AI goes with the story. And then this way I can get the between the story better. So let's create our first chapter.
I put one of the prompt things in there in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So write the beats that are rich in details. Why not? Let's try. So just for the fun of it, we're going to show you the beat without the prompt. Then I'm going to use the prompt and we're going to redo the beats for the chapter 1 and see the difference. So we have the beginning of the chapter with Aria in the midst of the training ground, describe the fluid movement of Aria in a movement when she's practicing, introduce Lisandra, telling about the training, describe her aspiration and her power, Shoria envy the frustration that watch the freedom of her power. So we have a bunch of, they're not bad at all actually. And these 12 beats, they give us about 2,400 words, and it's going to use 19,700 credit. And this is when using balance. Here, this is all the models you can use to write the story. And the story is every single beat of those, which are done in pair, which we call prose. They're going to go 2 by 2 like this.
Part of the racetrack.
In pair. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prose, 6 section. So if I was to change the model for most accurate, it's 2,600 and it's using 42,900 credit. So this one is more expensive. It's using ChatGPT 4, right? Then we have the best prose with 3.5, which is going to use 2,000, it's going to do 2,600, about 2,600 words, and the estimate credit is 17,000. So you can choose different models to write your story. And then we have the experimental down there. So my favorite one is balance, like everyone knows. So we have the balance, and I'm going to start the 2 first, and then we're going to use Nicole prompt and rewrite our beats with the new prompt. So let's generate the 2 first one.
I also, it was too long for the Zoom message, but I sent you a Discord message with the very lengthy one.
Okay, thank you. So the pause button here, when it starts writing, you can click pause and it's going to finish the 2 first beats. So you can see beat 1 and 2 is getting written, which is the start of the story.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Where was the pause button?
The what?
Where was the pause button?
Over here, you see on the finish button?
Oh, yeah,
So when I restart,
mode.
it's going to be a pause instead of continue and restart.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you again because I'm going to use the prompt that Nicole sent us, and we're going to put it into our outline. So outline, and here you can see I can go back and forth just by clicking the box to get there fast. So our outline here, if we add Nicole, I have the right one. There you go.
Oh, I put that after the chapter number. I don't know if it's going to take it into account up there.
It should.
Be a good little experiment.
Yeah, we'll try that. Because that's normally I put my prompt there and it actually work. So
And see, I tend to make mine, I have specific focuses too that I put in the instructions for each chapter, depending on the chapter. So it's also why I tend to put mine in that chapter.
so basically after the dot of the number chapter 1.
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Sorry. This is the same thing we do when we change language. We put the language we want to write in and after the dot dot. All right, let's see if we can add a chapter 1. And I have to ask, I'm going to ask to generate new beats, and remember is going to go get our outline. We could have put it in the brain dump genre, the style, the synopsis, character too, but it's supposed to get it in the outline. So let's see the difference of the beats with our little prompt there to get the beat richer. So generate beats. All right, So we have 12 beats. So begin the chapter with aria in the midst of the training, shadow, case, sword, fluid, movement, glint. Introduce Lysandra, so it's the same thing. Manipulating the element, causing aria to feel a twinge of envy. Aria approach Mira Everwood. So we have 468 words. What do we have in our other one there? So you can tell it's shorter here and it's 374 words. So the prompt gave us more words and more details of our chapter 1. So you can tell by just adding a small prompt to your outline, it does make a difference. We could have put something a little more drastic in our outline to see how that goes. And you can see the difference. So Sudowrite is there for you to go and play with these things to find your favorite version of it. So let's go with our last one right here, and let's see if we can get it. So we have 2004 estimate and 20,700 to start the two first, the prose for this chapter. Yeah, we play around with it. So let's generate the two first one. I'm not changing the model yet. That's normally what I do in the 301. So you see the pause button. When it starts writing, we see the pause button. So we click on it, and it's going to finish the two first beats. Seems like this version is starting into chatting a little bit faster. So there's some dialogue right away. You can tell all the words which is written on top here. You can follow the words using for the two first prose. So let's read that a little bit here. Aria Stormwell blade dance in the morning light, a silver flash that carved through the air with precious and grace. Around her, the training ground of the shadow wire teemed with the sound of steel clashing and wires shout, but Aria moved in her own rhythm. A silent symphony of deadly artistry. Each step she took was measured and fluid, her body waving through her opponents with the ease of a shadow slipping through the grass of those who sought to catch it. Watch her form, a grizzled veteran called out. Okay. So we can all read in silence too. I kind of like how it starts. I almost feel like I'm in the Archer or one of those stories out there that I'm listening with my dad. Same kind of starting. Let's keep going because I want to show you how I do the style after that. I really like the way this is going. There is dialogue, explanation, and yeah, it's not bad at all. So, and all that stuff I will put in the document, which I'm going to continue the story, and I'm going to give you the document. So as I leave it write the rest of the chapter, so I can show you how I do the style after I'm happy with the first chapter. Any question in the chat that someone like to ask out loud? Or did I miss anything?
I was just going over credits with somebody, the credit packs and stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about that or if you covered that probably in the 101.
Yeah, we covered it yesterday in the 101. And when it's writing, we cannot leave the page. There is a
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Something that came up in Discord the other day. A lot of people weren't noticing credit pack. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that wasn't in the 101, that you can buy extra credit packs.
Mhm.
People seem to be unaware of that in the Discord the other day. So that is an option.
Yeah, and we went over that yesterday, so that's great. Thank you, Nicole. All right, seems like all the questions are up to date. We got 2 great co-hosts today. And Thomas was fantastic yesterday. So we had 5, 6, and it's still going. So as they training the session, pause for brief respite areas, slip away from the gathering of the wire. Your blade was singing today, Arya, Mira comment. Her gaze piercing. Remember earlier when I said that your characters, if you leave some of the words, they will come back? I think we may have I forgot to remove piercing because I copy my character in my character box, but I forgot to come back in and fix my character. So remember when I said that the piercing will show up again? That's the perfect example right there. It's no spell weaving, Arya reply, the frustration evident in her voice as she glanced back towards her Lysandra and Serafina stood. I watched them wielding element. Okay, hey Mira. Eden, Arya correcting bitterly. Perhaps one of the day you will. Come, Mira urged slightly above the shoulder. So we have not too bad dialogue. She pushed herself harder than ever, feeling the burn in her muscle. As the sun dipped low, be careful also for these things like that. The AI likes to talk about the sun to tell the time of the day. So things like that is reminiscence of AI. Casting a long shadow across the training ground area continued to drill. The day training ended with the warrior exhausted and invigorated. Camaraderie, forget the new. Until the end, Mira agreed. 5, 6, a good day for training. Remarkable control area, so they're training a lot. Playing of the steel, good form. We have a looping. Begin the character introducing area, have area approach Mira, so they're still in the training. What's happened after this year? Remarkable burning of the blade had wheeled. Okay, so they're still in training. As the training continued, they pause. Okay, that's not a loop. That was maybe a looping. And here until the end, the whatever future they held together, the wire, the friend. Because in your beats, look at your beat when you're reading things and you have a looping like they are training, then the sun deep, and then they go to bed, and then the next things they are still training with the same story on top. That's what we call a looping. So when check your beat for that. I haven't had too much problem with looping in a long time. Somehow my beats are coming out almost perfect when it comes to the flow of my stories. But keep an eye on it. It's very important that your beats follow your story so you don't have looping. So 5, 6, the cling of the steel. So they're still doing it until the end. Yell around. Then the blood. So they're still training. So they're training the whole time of chapter 1. Good form, training. From the edge, the circle, the young wire, step training. Her gaze, disappearing down among the wire. Her gaze met Mira across the field, a silent conversation passing between them. So still going away from the glamour, the clashing of the sword. Now they're going away from the training. Intact for now. Your courage, the exchange smile. The retrieve was short-lived, however, as the training ground beckoned them back to reality. So training. Indeed, Arya. Time, again, envy, clever. A glamour arose, from the edge of the training ground. So they're still in the training, they haven't gone to bed yet. Prepare yourself, Lord Cedric. So that Cedric shows up. He turns them, leaving the sword to hang in the air like a banner of war. Arya, watch him go. A new fire candle in her chest. The chest, attic self in the world. Her heart hammer against her ribs. Shadow warrior. Declare courage. So this is the 11-12, and it's finished with, normally it's supposed to finish with a cliffhanger. So let's see our cliffhanger. The declaration was clarion call resonate. So they are training area. Heart hammer in the ribs, match attention. The shadow warrior, Lord Cedric and Tone, your kingdom called upon your valor. So they're going to go and battle somehow. The declaration was clarion call resonate deep within Arya. Excitement surge. She glanced at her comrade, saw the resolve etching itself into their face. Your courage will be tested, continued Lord Cedric. Arya clenched her jaw. As they assembled, dispersed, whispered, tragedy and spectacular, their eyes met across the distance, a silence exchange more potent than words. They turned away, each to her own thought. Her connection, thread, participation moved through them both. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadow. Here we go. The sun is telling us it's going down, so the night is coming. Zarya cheated her words. So she shifted her words, sorry. The cool metal whisper promises of battle ahead. The chapter closed with the resonance of steel sliding into leather, leaving reader clinging to the edge. So it's giving us, it basically is talking to the reader here or to us to say what's happening. So this part will not be in the book, or some people may like it in their book, but the end of it will not be in my book if I was to write that story. So how would Arya keep her secret safe amidst the coming storm? So the AI already telling you there's a secret. It's giving you a hint of secret. So these will have to be removed, and somehow we'll have to check in our synopsis if we let go of a secret, because the AI is not good to keep secret. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to keep she turned away. So sword, ladder, question that twilight. Where's the, here you go. So before this here, I'm going to put that down. And for me, this is the end of my chapter 1. Now, if I was happy, which I will have to go and reread the whole chapter and use my laser tools or my own imagination and change things until I'm happy. What I'm doing with that, soon as I'm happy with my chapter 1, I highlight it, and I have to highlight, I need to see my words. I need to highlight 2,000 words or less to get my style. So I'm over 2,000, 2002. All right. So I cannot copy everything, so I have to stop at before 9:10. So hopefully I have a good idea of what my style is going to be. So just bear with me that this is basically what we like. We did the correction, we have the character, the storyline, how they talk, we will be happy with that. So what I do after that, when I'm happy with my chapter 1, and this is the style that I like, I go in my style box, click on style, and I'm going to say, please match my style with what we have written from chapter 1. Match my style, I just pass the whole 2,000 words I took from the story of the chapter 1. And I'm going to click next. The first sample is going to give me, I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to copy it. I don't think they fixed that as yet. Save to documentation and not losing this page unless someone else knows that they fixed that. Anyone knows about that? I guess not. So don't go and send to doc, because when you do that, you have to redo the whole thing we just did. Copy it to your 2,000 word, come back here and start again. So highlight your first answer, copy it, don't get out, and click next. So this way, what you just copy is in your clipboard. And until it's finishing this part here, we keep it there. Now it's giving us under 40 words of what the style of our story is. So you can take this or you can transform it. Sometimes there's more than 40 words. Sometimes we just put a small dash between two words, and you can see the word number down here to go down. So you click them together this way. And that's how we get our synopsis, not our synopsis, but our style for the words. So you can see that. So I'm going to insert that. So now my style is insert here, but I'm going to go in my style here on my little document on the side, and I'm going to copy the whole style that it gave me in the first box. So we're on a third person limited, the tone, the vocabulary that is used, and all these things can be changed, fixed to your liking. So for me, and I know someone's going to say, why? I don't like third person limited. I like first person POV. And at the present tense. So I just fix the style here. So we remove third person past tense. I will keep the with serious descriptive. There we go. So first person POV and present tense with serious. What do I mean by with serious? With serious POV, but let's remove that. Past tense. Descriptive tone, formal vocabulary, varied sentence structure, vivid sensory description, respectful, unique dialogue, convey team, hidden ability, camaraderie, and magic in a fantasy world. Okay, we have a start of a style. So you saw that we took the style from chapter 1 that we work on. And then for me, I didn't like the third person POV, so I put it at the first person POV. And that should be on Aria because normally she's this is the main character. I could have asked first person POV and tell which character is going to tell the story also. It's another way that you can work with it. So we have our chapter 1. Let's see if we can get our chapter 2 done. So add chapter 2, or I should have gone in the middle. But I will show you what that do with the POV change. So we're going to generate our beads. In the meantime, do we have things in the chat I should look at? Does anyone have any question? A little over 5 minutes left. Yes, that's why I try to get fast, because at noon, people leave at 1 and they go back to work. So if you have question quickly before you have to go back to work, please ask.
Devon had a question and I tried to answer, but I think he had left for a moment. Now I see he's back. So there seems to be some confusion over your documents. Devon, can you
Unmute.
ask your question again or type it in chat if you can't talk? I believe that you're confused over all of your documents.
Which one is that again?
Devon?
Devon? Devon, were you here yesterday on the 101? Because everything was done on the 101 on this side here. That's why. So I suggest when the video of the 101 shows up to go and listen, because I explain exactly why this box is like that now. Because as I use it as my class, so these little folder is the class of the 101. So everything we did in the 101 is in that box. And today is the 201. So everything we have done today, I will put in that box. For me, it's easier for working because I know where everything is. And I explained how to use that yesterday.
And to explain the ones that are marked the same as the actual boxes, you don't have to do those first. But some people like to export those or, have them saved elsewhere. So where you see brain dump genre style, she just puts those in her document, whether again, that's for her to be able to export or, be able to copy and paste things easily.
Yeah. Because we cannot transform much inside the box. So each box is in my document here. So each box which is generate down here, I don't throw any of my words out. I copy and bring everything in this documentation, which is the same name of the story. So braindom is braindom, the genre, the style, character, and synopsis. So I copy them and bring them here. And from here, that's where we can go and work on our information, like my braindom and all that. So basically story 1, it was the shadow wire. So this is our story. And that's what we put in the braindom. So later I can take this and bring it in my braindom and know that's what I use to do my braindom. And it's very just for you to manage your story. So you can just go add, this is the folder. So if your folder, you decide says, okay, everything about my story, I want to put it in the folder called notes. You put notes, a folder which called notes, and you can put all your notes underneath. And another folder which says, this is all my chapters going to be there. It's just for you to manage your story and be more clear and easy, concise work for you. I hope that helped with that question.
And having that brain dump document, that's useful if you find you're always going over the limit that's currently set for brain dump. Again, as a reminder, they are doing away with the limits, but while we still have to deal with them, so that brain dump document could be a great way for you to get all of your thoughts down on the screen, not have to worry about the limit, and then you can rewrite or do whatever you need to edit, or maybe just take a chunk at a time. A lot of people do acts at a time for all the boxes or chapters. So that brain dump could be your entire story, all your thoughts, but they don't fit in the brain dump box. But now you have it right there in the document.
Yeah, this is really your workspace to go and put all your information and work on your story. Instead of having everything from here in the story Bible and put that into a Word document and go back and forth between the two Sudowrite and your Word document, you can work everything in this document here until you're ready. And then after that, there is that fantastic button. Once your story is finished, everything is what you want, but you want everything into your Word document. There is many ways of going for it, but now we have this great opportunity that we're supposed to right here in the first screen. This is the card of what we're working on today. And you can export the full documentation by export zip. And this will give you a zip file that you can then open into a Word document. And everything in your document that we work on, all these things will be exported. So instead of going one box at a time, everything will be exported. So did you use that one, Nicole, and see what that looked like when it's in Word document?
I didn't, because I copy everything into Scrivener as I generate.
All right, so let's do it together then. Export zip. And I have no idea what that's going to look like, as I haven't used it much myself.
I did download one for demo purposes, but I never actually opened it up.
So we have the zip up here. So we have zip, that, double check. And now you have all your document. Is everyone see that screen there with all the document for today?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have our 5 story, our braindom, the chapter 1, the chapter 2. Everything is there. All the documentation on the side have been copied over, and then you can open it in any of your Word document, Page, Vellum, any document, that's the other one, Scrivener, and Atticus. So this is how you can export your whole documentation.
And now keep in mind, Sudowrite isn't meant to format. So
no.
If you want, like, okay, I want somebody asked in chat, how can we get it all in one document? Either you're going to have to do the manual copy paste all each of them into the same document, then export it. What I like to do is I have a folder manuscript. I have another folder, so as I'm doing all the variations of chapters, they all go there. Then once I have my final one, that goes into the manuscript folder. So I know everything in this folder is like the finalized version right there. So you could use those different folders that Manon was showing to kind of know, okay, this is the ones I want to go into the manuscript right here.
All right. Is it true that you can put too much into boxes? Explain. if you're talking about Story Bible, they have listed limited. So I'm not sure what Michael is meaning by too much in a box, because we have limit of words. So if sometime in the past we did see boxes which came out with more words than the limitation, then do any problem. There's one thing, if you're typing things in, they will not let you type more, but it did in the past go over the words we had in our boxes. But I'm not sure what Michael is talking about. So I guess the answer we give is, all right. If you have more questions, Michael, just let us know, okay?
Could be referring to how we talk about, don't put secrets, don't put spoilers.
Yeah, that's possible too.
So those are the limits right now. The word limits, which you can see right there where it says so many words in all the boxes. Or, just, yeah, okay, so that's what he's talking about, like you overwhelm the AI. So that's just, people have different approaches. My approach is I don't put something until I would want the reader to know it, then I let the AI know it. I think Tomas and Mana are really big too about giving it minimal
Yeah,
context.
yeah, minimal. Don't give the secret to the AI. If you want the AI to do a small hint, there's a secret going on, you can tell it to do it so in which chapter you want to be done. But don't tell the AI the secret until you're ready the AI to write about it. If not, it's like a 8-year-old boy or girl is going to just blabble in the first chapter what's the secret. So it's how it works for the AI. All right, so we had our chapter 2. Now we over the hour, and I want to know, I know we're losing pretty much half the people when the hour turns on. So any question we can answer at this point, I will just go and play between models or answer your question, because I like to get the meat of the information on the first hour that everyone has access to it. So let's get your question going or things you want to try. And until tomorrow, when I can go deeper in all the prompt that we can play and use in Sudowrite, and also get the meat inside Canva that we did start yesterday a little bit. You talk about the brain dump having a limit. Yes, the brain dump is having 2,000 words limit. And when you do have those limits, but you want more information, this is why I put my brain dump into this documentation here. So I can take my brain dump, copy it in my brain dump here. Here, there's no limit of words. This is where you can play, work, change, add. It's really, that's where I go and do all my transformation I want to do or add things to my brain dump. But yes, the brain dump has 2,000 words limit. The genre has 40, the style has 40, the synopsis at 800, the character is 700, and very soon we're going to have the new character box. Can't wait. The outline is is 1,700 words limit. And one trick about the outline, I'm doing the same way that John is doing. Once I do work on a book for myself, I will not keep all those chapters in the bottom. I'm going to take my outline, put it in my outline, my document. And I'm going to delete chapter 2 all the way down and only work on chapter 1. And I'm going to put all the information I want in my chapter 1 and all the prompt I need in my outline and only work on chapter 1. Once chapter 1 is finished written, I'm going to add chapter 2 if there is space. So the AI has the 2 that it can actually go back and forth, because Sudowrite is changing very quickly and sometimes we have more access. Definitely when you do the chat, when we have access to the chat goes get the information pretty much in all the boxes to answer our question. So I like to have all these things in here. So this is how I work. And then once there's no more space, if I have no more space, I use all my 1,700 words. Then I'm going to delete the first chapter and the second chapter to get more space in the bottom for the chapter I'm working on. Thank you, Thomas. Any more question we can go through? or anything.
Can
Yes.
you just show the button you clicked on when you said you were exporting it to zip? I didn't catch that button. Home,
Home,
uh-huh,
you have the 3 dots here,
3 dots,
you know, on your
inbox, mm-hmm,
and the export zip.
click export zip. Okay,
All right,
thank you very much.
you're welcome. In the same time here, we have those little icon. This one is telling you that there is a story Bible on this project. And there is also a canvas outline on that project that tell you, and you can jump into it directly. And if I click on the Canva one, it's going to go in Canva directly. So those are easy access from the main page to where you want to go. Anything else we can try and have fun? Right. Nicole, anything you like to try or talk about? Because the rest is going to be, I keep everything for tomorrow. This is the first hour, so the first hour is passed by 8 minutes, and all the people who works, they already gone to work.
That is it. I was just glad I got to hop on for once.
All right, that was nice to have you on board. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone. I'm going to stay a little bit longer, so people who wants to play and do things after the recording is done, I'm going to stay over for about another 30 minutes for you guys. So thank you for coming, and I hope I see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going deeper in prompts and play around all the other things in Sudowrite, the more advanced version of it. So let's stop this recording.
Woke up this morning, the sky was gray. Another storm, another endless day. Thought I was drowning in the deep, but something in me refused to sleep. Every tear, every fear made me stronger, brought me here. I'm rising up, can't hold me down. Breaking through, I'm battlebound. The road is tough, but I won't bend. I'll stand tall until the end. Mountains high and valleys low. Every turn, a path I didn't know. Lost my way, but found my stride. With every setback, I grew inside. Every scar, every pain built the warrior in my veins. In my veins, I'm rising up, can't hold me down. Breaking through, I'm battle bound. The road is tough, but I won't bend. I'll stand tall until the end. Mountains darkest and it feels like all is lost. Remember why you started, push through, no matter the cost. I'm rising up, can't hold me down. Breaking through, I'm battle bound. The road is tough, but I won't bend. I'll stand tall until the end. When the night is darkest and it feels like all is lost, remember why you started, push through no matter the cost. Woke this morning, the sky was clear. Every storm